Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome back all the delegates for the post-lunch session, which is a panel discussion on demographics in digital India. It will be moderated by none other than Sujay Nair, and I'm going to invite Ms. Shawar Salim from the Department of Commerce to introduce him.
Good afternoon, everybody. From Canada to India, from engineering to media, Sujay Nair's varied and interesting upbringing and education have served as a prelude to his career profile. He was the editor-in-chief and CEO of Enigma Interactive, as well as founder and director of eScribes India. He continues to be a mentor for both organizations. Some of his key achievements are: he has worked in due diligence and fund management as a venture capitalist, handling technology, infrastructure, power sectors, and have successfully funded over 15 to 18 growth companies in India. He has helped 2-3 startup companies set up their digital marketing platform. He has helped and continued working with some Bollywood celebrities on their digital and social strategies. It gives me an immense pleasure in welcoming you, sir.
A small add-on was I currently work with iNurture. Thank you so much. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
A little more louder, please. Good afternoon. Thank you. Is the lunch slowing it down or? No. I think we have a very interesting panel. I don't know how many of you were there yesterday. I don't know if digital was discussed yesterday, but we'd love to have digital, and one of the topics that I'm very, very interested in, right? We're going to touch upon digital disruption, digital transformation, digital India. I understand it's a little bad, but we'll explain everything, right? And we'll go into details of each of them. But I'd like to introduce a very, very strong, eminent panel, right? I still do have to read out, though. So we have Biju Kurian, and every time I finish that, I think you should give them a big round of applause. Biju Kurian is a board member of L Capital Asia and a mentor. He was a former president and CEO of Lifestyle Reliance Retail. He was a COO of Titan Watches. He's been associated with Indian Retail Forum and Retail Association of India and continues to do so. He's a mentor on board of FICCI National Retail Committee. He's been awarded the Retail CEO of the Year in 2013 by ET Now and APAC Retail Leader in 2012 by World Retail Congress. Once again, please. Thank you. We have Lata Subramaniam. She's been the former HR head at IBM India. She's a senior HR professional with over 25 years in IT, manufacturing and advertising industry. She's worked with companies such as Titan Industries, Siemens Information Systems, TI, HP and IBM. At IBM, she was the talent director for IBM's global technology business based out of New York. Prior to that, she's managed IBM's global delivery center here in India with responsibilities covering employee engagement, morale, training, talent management, organization design, compensation, etc. She's got a master's degree from Madras School of Social Work in personal management and labor relationship. Please, once again, thank you. Welcome, ma'am. Ramesh Vevagunti, he's from Chanakya Consulting, Hyderabad, with over 2 decades of experience in IT, hardware and software. He was the president for HMA in 2011 and 12, advisory board member of MTC Global, executive member of PMA Hyderabad. He's an author and has written 2 books, Moving Ahead of Times and Reinvigorating Management. And I think 1 book is outside. Everybody seen it? A big welcome to Ramesh as well. So, I'm not going to introduce the topic much because I didn't have time to write down everything, right? But I just thought digital, and it kind of came back to me. I said, let's look at digital many, many years back. And I'm going to ask questions. Is that okay? Nobody's saying yes. It's okay. Yes. Yes? Yes. A little louder, please. Yes. Yes. Okay, what did we do many, many years back when we wanted to take money from the bank? Go to the bank. One by one. Yes, ma'am. You used to stand in a queue. Leave the queue. What do you do after that? Withdrawal slip. And then the cashier gives you the money, right? So let's look at the number of transactions, right? You write the slip. You give the slip to the guy. Transaction number 1. Yes? I like a participative audience, right? It's like Jim Carrey standing up. Okay, so that's transaction number 1, right? The cashier writes an entry. There are 3I concept, right? 3 people have to look at it and approve it, right? And it goes to the next guy, second transaction, third guy, third transaction. Finally, cashier gives you the cash, 4 transactions. You take the cash and you say you accept it, 5 transactions. Yes, no? Yes. What happens today? ATM. So number of transactions reduced, right? Yes. No. Sorry. Number of transactions exponentially increased. Right? You put the ATM card in, right? It sends a message to the ATM switch. Transaction 1. ATM switch sends a message back to the CBS, core banking application of the bank. Transaction 2. Core banking application approves that PIN number or the card and comes back to the switch, back to your ATM, and then finally you are asked the question, all right, your card is an ATM card and not a business card. Now what do you want to do? Then you say, I want to withdraw cash. Same number of transactions again, after the PIN number. Then you say, I don't want the receipt. Same number of transactions exponentially increased. For every transaction, the bank has to store this information somewhere in the data center. That means the bank's got to have a data center, right? It needs to be digitally enabled. Means it's got to be connected all the time, or when you go to the ATM, your ATM doesn't work, right? This is what digital has done to the world, right? In every industry, every part of our lives, digital touches you, right? What happened 30 years back when your friend is in Lucknow, you're in Bangalore, and you want to talk to him? Trunk call, letter. Today, WhatsApp, PSTN, mobile telephony, email, Facebook, chat. The number of transactions, right, because of digitally enabled whatever, let's call it whatever, right, has transformed your lives. It has changed the way we started working, right? What happens when you want to book a ticket? Same problem. We don't have to repeat the same thing, right? We don't have too much time. We want them to talk, not me, right? So same thing, the digital disruption in our day-to-day lives, right, has dramatically changed the way we function, we think, right? Thus, the way we get educated, the way we get employed, right? Everything has changed because of this digital transformation, right? Riding on this digital transformation, Mr. Modi, do you know who it is? Who? No, I wasn't talking Narendra Modi. Which other Modi? Everybody black. No, I was talking Narendra Modi. So Narendra Modi came up in July last year and said, we'll start a program called Digital India, right? And what is Digital India? Who could tell me what is Digital India? Somebody's like, I know it, but then he'll make fun of me if I don't say it right. We're all amateurs here, so don't worry. Every transaction to be made online. Every service to be provided online. I'll accept that. There's a lot of truth in that. Virtual. Virtual what, ma'am? Not necessarily, but there's a lot of virtual involved in it.
E-governance.
E-governance. What is e-governance, sir?
Each and every transaction from the government sectors from the digitalization only.
All right.
As a public, you can interact with that. You can find out whereabouts your files are.
Right. Governance services given to citizens on a digital platform or digitally serving the people. Anything else? Anything else? So it's bang on, right? It's actually giving government to citizen services, G2C services on a digital platform so that those services are faster, more efficient, lower in cost, okay, more participative. So Narendra Modi's more key things, right, was participative governance, right, responsive governance, right, transparent governance. So you will not have somebody who says, you give me 10 rupees, right here, your license will come faster. That cannot happen because it cannot happen online, right? So he's got to provide that service online with more transparency, increased efficiency, right? Any other service that you thought very efficient today? Last 2-3 days, newspapers? Passport service, right? So efficiencies have started increasing. In 1 week you can get a passport now, right? That is digital India. To do that, you need to do a lot of things, right? You need to have the basic foundation. How many villages do we have in this country? 600 villages. Brilliant! A big round of applause. No, sir, it's 600,000 plus villages. I'm sorry, I was just making a joke, sir. That was Puneet, sir, so I could take the liberty. Right? 600 plus thousand, 650 plus thousand villages, right? They're not connected to the internet, right? Rural population of connected internet is less than 32%, right? And the rest is urban internet connection. To increase that, Government of India decided to do digital program where BharatNet decides to go to 11 cities and run broadband networks across the country, right? They decide to have an NGN, National Next Generation Network. They decided to have a national optical fiber network, is that right? Yeah, national optical fiber network, okay, across the country so that services, internet service can be much faster, right? Not just that, when you have that, you need to have more number of services. So they started building, announcing smart cities, right? Smart cities are cities which are connected. The basis of a smart city is the Internet of Things or Internet of Everything, right? For every device, every service, every department is connected to each other. So all the services delivered to you. Am I going too fast? No. He first said yes. No, 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 no. Every service delivered, right, in those cities are much faster than what we have today, right? All this comes out of Digital India program, right? So there's one basic question. So what the hell are we talking about today, right? Why is that so important in today's conference, right? It's got huge thing to do with today's conference because we talk about empowerment, right? A Digital India initiative or digital initiative anywhere in the world gives you empowerment. It gives citizens the power to communicate faster. It gives the power to the government to empower citizens for various services, right? It gives you employment because, exactly as you said, you need 3 people in that bank, right? But when you start touching the ATM machine, you need a guy who's a network engineer, you need a hardware engineer, you need a banker, you need the same 3I guys. So the number of people increased, right? The mode of education changed. So a banker now so I was talking about that, right? A banker needs to be technology enabled. He's got to understand the repercussions of your core banking application, which is doing millions and millions of transactions every minute, right? He needs to understand that today, right? Skilling has changed. It's no longer what it was 20 years back, right? So it's got everything to do with what we're discussing, right? Employment opportunities have increased, right? So empower, employ, and educate. It touches upon all 3 of it, right? I think I've spoken enough. I think we'll give chance to everybody else to actually develop on that idea, right? And let me invite Ramesh first to talk about that. Thank you so much.